Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me here today. In this video, I'm going to go over the top 15 options at both tight end and defense. I'm also going to cover a couple notable omissions as to why I don't think that they are worth a start for you guys in a crucial Week 12 as we push for those playoffs. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe. The support means everything to me on my journey to my first 100 subscribers. If you have any start or sit questions, especially as the week goes on, drop those down below. I would love to be able to help you out with them, and I will make sure to get back to you before the games this Thursday. With that all said, done, and out of the way, let's get into Week 12's tight end rankings. With Travis Kelce on bye this week, it opens up the opportunity for someone else to take that number one spot, and I have Darren Waller here. He travels to Dallas on the road. Waller now has 2 top 4 finishes in his last 3 games and is starting to turn it on when owners need it most. That should continue against the Cowboys, who allow over 15 points a game to the position, which is 9th worst in the league. We move on to Mark Andrews. He gets to stay at home against Cleveland, and he is here at 2. Not even Tyler Huntley could slow down Andrews, who finished as the tight end number 6. With question marks surrounding Marquise Brown, Andrews will keep seeing his massive target share. He has 28 of them in his last 3. George Kittle is in at number 3. He stays at home to face my Vikings. And it was another game, another top 5 finish, and touchdown scored in Kittle's return from his injury. He's done that in 3 straight. Minnesota allows the 6th fewest points to the position, but I doubt that slows down Kittle much. Soaring up to number 4, it is Dalton Schultz. He stays at home against the Raiders. This could be a monster game for Schultz, who is likely going to be the most reliable pass catcher left standing for Dak. He will help Dallas's offense get back on track and could see double-digit targets. The cherry on top, the Raiders allow the 3rd most points to the position. The last player in my top 5 staying at home against Chicago is TJ Hawkinson. With a bottom 8 matchup against the Bears, points are not going to come easy. However, Hawkinson has 8 or more targets in 4 out of his last 5 games, so I buy that volume with his talent. Traveling on the road to face Jacksonville is Kyle Pitts. He's in at 6. As predicted, Pitts was schemed out of Atlanta's offensive attack on Thursday night. He finished with just 29 yards on 5 targets. Jacksonville is much more forgiving to the position, and I like his chances to bounce back. We move on to Mike Gesicki. He gets the 7th spot at home against Carolina. Gesicki was able to get back in owners' good graces after a solid performance coming off of his killer goose egg a couple weeks ago. He continues to showcase his solid floor, but the Panthers are not going to make it easy on him. In a big return from a long layoff, Rob Gronkowski finds himself at 80 travels on the road to face the Colts. I am sure owners hated the long layoff here, but Gronk picked up right where he left off and looked excellent in that return. In his 4 full games, he now has 3 tight end 1 finishes, and Indy is a juicy matchup to keep it rolling. Dawson Knox travels to New Orleans, and he is in next at 9. After seeing 8 targets in his last 3 games, Knox saw 10 as the Bills played catch-up with the Colts. I doubt he sees that many again all season, but the Bills are certainly not going to run it on the Saints. Traveling on the road to Cincinnati and rounding out my top 10, it is Pat Freiermuth. This rookie just keeps on scoring. He has touchdowns in 3 out of his last 4 games. He is perfect for what the Steelers like to do on offense and is a major threat in the red zone. In at number 11, it is Noah Fant. He stays at home to face the Chargers. And before their bye week, Fant was able to record a tight end 1 finish. He gets an excellent matchup here, as the Chargers allow over 17 points a game to the position, which is 2nd most in the league. Dallas Goedert travels to New York to face the Giants. He is the last tight end 1 for me in Week 12. Goddard got back into the tight end 1 column for the 3rd time in his last 5 games and has produced a solid floor in that span, seeing 28 targets in that time. I will buy that volume as the lone consistency in Philly's passing game. Moving on to 13, I find myself with Tyler Higbee. He travels to Lambeau. Higbee is going to see more opportunities moving forward, and it starts with a solid matchup here against the Packers. I think a lot of points are inbound in a shootout, so opportunities will be too. Dan Arnold gets to stay at home against Atlanta. He's in next at 14. The impressive 60-plus yard streak ended at 3 games for Arnold, who was not even targeted in that loss to the Niners. I would say that is more troubling than the goose egg itself, but Atlanta is about as good as it gets for a rebound opportunity. My last ranked tight end staying at home against Tennessee is Hunter Henry. Hunter has a decent matchup here, but his touchdown dependency makes him a gamble. He hasn't seen more than 4 targets in a game since week number 5. Moving on to my notable omissions, it starts with Tyler Conklin. He goes on the road to face the Niners, and Conklin has seen his target share drop in back-to-back weeks, with just 8 targets in his last 2 games combined, while Cousins has focused on his stud wideouts. He's going to have his games, but they're going to be sporadic. The last tight end, the one that I am avoiding, is Austin Hooper on the road against Baltimore. Now, he does have 12 targets in his last 2 games, but this Cleveland passing attack leaves a lot to be desired. Now that my tight ends are done and over with, let's get into Week 12's defenses. My top defense this week is the New England Patriots. They face the Titans at home. New England has 4 finishes in the top 5 over the last 5 games, and 2 of those they finished as the number 1 overall defense. This could certainly get ugly as the Titans are sputtering at best. On to number 2, I have that Bears defense against Detroit. Now, whether Jared Goff plays or not doesn't matter to me. I think the Bears smash here. Finishing off my top 3, it's the Eagles defense against the Giants, who looked absolutely pitiful on Monday night. In at 4, I have the Bills defense against New Orleans. I think they're able to bounce back here, and I doubt that Alvin Kamara actually plays. At 5, I have the Cowboys defense. They get the Raiders on Thanksgiving. I have the Panthers defense at 6 against Miami, and although Carolina's defense was a letdown against the football team, I do not think it is against the Dolphins. At 7, I have that Dolphins defense against this Carolina team. I think this is a fairly low-scoring affair overall. Moving to 8, it's the Texans defense against the Jets, and after an excellent performance last week against the Titans, the Texans can follow it up here in a great matchup. Moving to 9, it's the Bucs defense. They travel to Indianapolis. And rounding out my top 10, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers defense against Cincinnati. Pittsburgh needs to get healthier. Right now, they're just banking on a turnover or 2. To 11, we find the Ravens. They get the Browns, who have struggled offensively for a bit now. And at 12, it's my Minnesota Vikings. They go on the road to face the 49ers. Now, they have shown themselves capable at times, and they can pay back this ranking if they bend but don't break. On to 13, it's the Jaguars against the struggling Atlanta offense. 14, and it is the Colts defense against Tampa Bay. They are coming fresh off of a top 8 performance against the Buffalo Bills. The last defense that I have ranked is the Titans against New England. I don't love it, but the options are starting to dwindle. Into my notable omissions, and I have the Lions defense as one of the first 2 I want to talk about, and the only reason this even needs to be said is because they are coming off of back-to-back top 10 performances. I know. On to the next and final defense I'll cover. It's the Chargers. They face Denver on the road, and Denver does well what LA cannot stop in the running game. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please drop them down below. I would love to be able to help you out. If you are new to the channel or haven't done it yet, please like and subscribe. The support means everything to me in my road to my first 100 subscribers. This is Relentless Press. I am your host, Abraham Opatz, and we'll see you next time.